I've just turned this little sketch into this painting. I'm the Wonky Prophet. I've just finished Life, Death and Donuts. Let's see how I did it. That sketch is all in now. I've been thinking about the colour scheme that I want to work with. The hat was the only thing that a set colour already, but with that and the donuts. So I mixed up just kind of base hat colour there, and I've got a slightly dark version, a slightly light version. Now that is only working between yellow and magenta, and there's no blue in the mix. And I got the colour pretty fair. So when I was doing it, I think what I'm going to try and do in this is only use 2 pigments per colour. So with the hat being a kind of straight mix between yellow and magenta, I'm going to push this one into the yellow side of things and push this one into the magenta side of things. So this will be kind of like around these colours, and this donut will be around these colours, and then the hat will be in the centre of that. And then to have everything incredibly vibrant, because I want this to really sing and pop and be vibrant and whoa, 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 whoa. The white smoke is going to have hints of blue in there, like kind of clouds and sky as I would do on landscapes. So that touching all these kind of yellows, purples and violets and oranges and stuff will really make everything sing. Yeah, I think this is about trying to just keep things between the blue and the magenta, or the magenta and the yellow. I'm going to avoid mixing any green or having any green on the canvas at all. Yeah, I think I want this to be a very, very, very vibrant piece. Life, death and donuts.
Deeks me new light stand, look at that. It's an old mic thing with a bit of wood cable tied to it with a house plants daylight bulb thing attached to it, which I would usually use. I would usually have it attached to the same tripod as the camera, and it was too heavy, so the camera in some of the shots was going just lowering really slowly. So I built this. How cool it is. Anyway, got a few base coats in. Got the purple, yellow, orange, smoothed everything out. Built up the colours on the palette. Come back in today, I've just wiped some of the magenta off because it wasn't drying too quick. It's all right at influencing these because they're all built from magenta, but with the whites and the blues I didn't want it to be quite as influential. So I wiped some of it back, which means I can work over all this bottom edge, build some of the smoke in, and then without having the magenta shine into the yellow and go pink, into the white, sorry, and go pink. I've also lengthened this a bit because I wasn't happy with it. It centers it a little bit more. I've also removed the bottom donut. Yeah, so this should just start all swelling out and then come up and through and around the don't trip, and then kind of like make its way around the donuts, and then into the top section. Yeah, I was quite pleased with this. It was just fun. It's fun to paint like this. You just slash colour on wherever, smooth things out, and then, you know, when I come back in for the second pass, once all the colour's in, once the whole thing's covered, it's just, again, really, really fun. Fun to do. Enjoyable. And that's what it should be, shouldn't it? It should be fun, 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 fun. Don't trip, man, just have some fun. Started the smoke swirls, mixed up a lot of greys by using the three colours, making them hit the grayscale, and then mixing them back into the white, then slightly adjusting everything using mainly the blue. That looks yellowish, but it's actually the lead white, the warm white. So yeah, everything's just slightly tinted. And then when I started working them on the paint, that's the most kind of fully done section there at the bottom. But because the oil paint on the previous layer is still pliable and wet, as I was painting, you can see it well here. If I use the brush almost perpendicular to the canvas, I can drag the light paint on. And then once I started hitting areas that were on top of other colour, tilt the brush slightly so the bristles dig in and actually blend the colour together. And then reapply with some of the kind of original colour, and then almost kind of work from here to about here, just sort of blending and moving, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, but it gets this lovely effect of, you know, things hazing through. So the plan is, if I keep adding these over the next few sessions, the paint underneath is going to start drying slightly, and the white will show a little bit more opacity. So if I build up I want to build up around here and kind of get a little frame for the message on the hat. Build a few more on top of the donut, and maybe one coming through the donuts and over. And then once they're nice and mixed in, the more layers I put on top, the more they're going to kind of shine through the white and the greys, and just create this lovely shimmering opacity on top of everything. And once all that smoke's in position properly, I can go back in on the 3 elements and add more colour, more vibrancy, more saturation, etc. But yeah, it's very interesting what was happening with the effect. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. I've done something similar before, but not as deliberate. Yeah, nice effect. It's going to work very well, I think. starting to really get somewhere with this one now. Got all the kind of everything covered except for the don't trip on the hat. Got the spliff in there, it's the base coats of it. I really started to kind of like develop up the smoke, thicken some areas up with some extra paint, and going over some areas that pulled a little bit too magenta. Like I need to go over a little bit of this here, take some of these little bits out. But sometimes it gets to the point where I need to wait for the layer to dry slightly in order to get this kind of like sort of chalk effect where the paint pulls over the dry paint rather than blending with the wet paint underneath. I've also put a lot of care into kind of like making sure these kind of forms start from the end of the spliff. I need to redo some extra here and then some here to make sure that everything's kind of like coming off it. But I'm liking it now. I'm kind of going for this effect where obviously the piece has very little perspective in it, being just a kind of, I suppose it's like a psychedelic still life, isn't it? And the only real perspective that you've got is kind of like the spliff popping out to the foreground, but then the things coming out of the spliff that are in the foreground kind of then merge and meld in with the background, which is kind of like all of this here and around here. So you've got something that comes very foreground to very background, the way it intermingles and intertwines. It's an interesting effect, I like it, I'm quite pleased with it. The next step is to, now that like this orange is fairly dry, this purple's quite dry, this yellow's quite dry, I can go over with the paints again and just embolden everything and just bring everything back out. I'll then have to do the same on this, but I need to wait for this paint just to dry a little bit longer. A couple more sessions should do that. But yeah, it's really starting to come together. Like John, Paul, George and Ringo. Dylan Mac in a spliff.
Right, that's that letter I'm putting. Got to admit, that was quite difficult. It's not perfect, it's going to need a bit of a tidy up. There's a few little dodgy edges. It was just trying to get the dark and the light kind of just blend a little bit to just give things a little bit of depth, kind of like this. And then when, you know, later on I can come back over that with some pure white and, you know, define the edges a little bit more. But it's in there now, so that's every part of the canvas now covered. So I just need to finish working on a couple of little bits. Crack on. Ta-da! Life, death and donuts. Oh, my poor dog keeps having seizures and it's making me think about life, death and donuts. Oh, a friend got sectioned again and it's making me think about life, death and donuts. So just replace that first bit with whatever you want and then it's making me think about life, death and donuts. Personal one, this. And a lot going on. And I wanted to try and find some modern symbology to represent. Those people who manage to get through it by utilising artistic expression, at least in music. So rest in peace, J Dilla. Just enjoy that blunt, man. When it all gets too much, just have some sweet loops, a spliff, and don't trip.